In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to use the quadratic formula to solve problems. Again, this is actually easy, but if you don't follow it step by step, you'll get it wrong every time. I mean, it's easy, but there are just a lot of steps. And if you're anything like me, which by the way, I know you are, we all try to take shortcuts. Every time you take a shortcut, you get it wrong. Anyway, all right, so here we have the quadratic formula, and it says negative b plus or minus radical b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a, and you're like, what in the world is that? Well, let me remind you of what a, b, and c is when you have a formula like this. All right, here is a quadratic equation. I know it's quadratic because it has a square sign in it. If it didn't, it wouldn't be quadratic. It has to have that little 2. All right, what number is automatically in front of that x? Well, it's a 1. I just don't write it down. That's the a number right there. The b number is the number that's in front of the plain x, and it's the number, not the letter. You don't write down, 3x. You just write down, or I mean negative 3, whatever. And this is the c. All right, so the a is 1, the b is negative 3, and the c is negative 4. Now, you need to write that down so you know that. So you can play this video a couple of times, guys. All right? All right, so here I'm going to begin this formula. I'm going to begin to do it. All right, so I'm going to write the numbers. I'm just going to plug in numbers for this. So negative b means that I'm going to write negative 3. If you don't, you'll mess it up. Plus or minus. Now b squared, so b is negative 3, negative 3 squared minus 4 times a. What's a? 1. Times c. What's that? Negative 4. And this whole big old mess is divided by 2 times a, which is 1. All right. Now let's try to break this down a little bit. Negative means positive. Positive 3 plus or minus. All right. Notice I have to write this sign down every single time. Negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. Minus, well, before I put this down, because I know what's happening here. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. Negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16. All divided by 2 times 1 is 2. All right? Let's see. 3 plus or minus. Now, what's 16 plus 9? 25. All divided by 2. All right, now, I'm going to move over here a little bit. Let me just erase some of this stuff, guys. Okay. So what is radical 25? Isn't it 5? All right, so watch what I'm going to say. 3 plus 5 divided by 2. And then I'm going to go 3 minus 5 divided by 2. All right, 3 plus 5 is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Correct? 3 take away 5 is negative 2. Divided by negative 2 is, excuse me, it's not by negative 2, it's by positive 2. And that's just going to be negative 1. All right, now what do these two numbers represent? I'm going to write this down so I don't forget. 4, negative 1. 4, comma, and negative 1. Okay. Those numbers represent where this quadratic equation is going through the x-axis. Let me see if I can show you. I'm going to turn on this. I've already written in my formula in my y equals. So I have x squared minus 3x minus 4, and then when I push graph, you can see, maybe, I hope, that the x is going through, or I mean the graph is going through the x over on this side and over on this side. This side happens to be -1, and over here is +4. So the answer is where the graph goes through the x-axis. That's what the answer is, okay? Now sometimes it will not go through the x-axis, and we won't be able to solve it using regular numbers because it won't go through the x-axis. But that's how you do the quadratic formula. I'm going to have another video on the quadratic formula part 2, where there are no answers, where it does not go through the x-axis at all.